So this video is a review of MenthorQ. And if you're watching this video, I'm assuming that you know about MenthorQ or you want to know more about it. So we're going to do an in-depth analysis of it, and I'll tell you what I like about it and what I don't like about it. So here we are on my charts. I've got nothing on them. You have ES on the left and Q on the right, both on the 5-minute time frame. And the gray area here is the overnight session. Black is the New York session. But let me turn on the MenthorQ gamma levels, and we're going to take a look at that. And these gamma levels are levels where the options has large amounts of open interests. And why that is important is because the market makers have to do something called delta hedging. Once they hedge their options positions, they have to buy the underlying. So that increases the price of the stock. Let me just go over a few of these levels here. You have JEX 1 through 5, actually 1 through 10 on the screen right here. And to turn those off, you can come over here and change it to just 1 through 10 or 1 through 5 if you like. Right here, and then they'll just be yellow, and it'll just show those. Or you can come over here and turn off the individuals. Right here, I turn off 6 through 10 usually because I don't use those levels. I only use 1 through 5, and really what I usually use is JEX 5 on S&P 500 and Nasdaq. I found it very, very useful. As you can see right here, let's take a look at the opening, go through the day. So we open down here on S&P. We have JEX 5 way up here. And we opened over here on the Nasdaq, right down here, right in a congestion area, actually. And we have the JEX level up here. So both of them were above the opening price, which tells me that the price is going to rise. Sometimes one is below and the other is above the opening, which I really like because it gives me a range. So price usually goes down, hits one, and then heads up to the other one. Now in this case, it barreled right through JEX 5 on the Nasdaq and headed straight up. Super strong price action today. Headed all the way up to the call resistance. So here's a resistance level, and you have your 1-day max way up here. So it didn't get close to that, but it did come up to the call resistance 0 DTE gamma wall, and it actually busted through there. Over here, it went through on the ES very soon, very early in the day, and continued on up to JEX 5. I use these JEX 5 levels because I think those are the best for me, what's been working the best for the last 2 or 3 months. They act as a magnet, and they magically attract the price. So I like it sometimes when, like I said, when the JEX level is above the opening price on the ES and below on the NQ, and then it bounces between the both of them. And sometimes it's a very, very large range like it was today, and it gave us very, very good opportunities to buy. Other things we have is this is a high volume level, HVL, right here. I do not use that at all. Some people use that. This is for ES. Like I said, my charts are ES and NQ. That's S&P 500 and Nasdaq. People use this for individual stocks as well as gold and commodities. So you can use these levels on anything that you trade as well as crypto. And I hear that the high volume level on crypto, on Ethereum, is very, very accurate. So let's head over to the website over here, MenthorQ. This is the website here. And it has a lot of information over here. As you can see, here's the home, news. It has classes right here. Integration, so you can integrate it with TradingView, NinjaTrader, Quant Tower, Sierra Charts, and even Bookmap. And here's the Academy with all the courses. I've only taken a few of the courses because I found what worked for me very fast. You have the product training, MenthorQ, product releases, gamma levels, and this is the one I did take for like 13%. How to trade volatility, swing trading, crypto, trading integration, and yeah, it shows you how to integrate the charts, technical analysis. So this website has a plethora of information, of learning. And you can see over here you have Forex, crypto, screeners. You can screen for individual stocks. The Academy we talked about. There's also a Discord that you can sign up for. And they give you levels on the Discord as well. You can click on the futures. And this gives you a Q score here. The neutral. The momentum is high. The seasonality is slightly negative. And this is for the E-mini S&P 500 futures. Options are neutral. Volatility is neutral. Momentum is high. And you can take all the classes to show you what this means and how to use that in your trading. Back here on the charts, what I really like are the levels themselves and then the way you can change them, change the style. What I usually do is hit 1 through 5 over here. It'll change it to yellow. The one thing I do not like about the MenthorQ program is the levels is that you have to delete them and reinstall them every day because they don't automatically update. It will say an update here. Sometimes this button will turn purple and it'll say update, and even if you hit it sometimes it won't update to these levels. So what I like to do is find my JEX5, come up here to array, hit it, and then I have a template here called JEX5, and it turns it into a blue JEX5. I also do that on the Nasdaq over here. I come over here, hit my array on the JEX5 level, come over here, JEX5, and then I will turn them off. Turn them off like that, so I have my levels. And you can see for today on the ES, it went all the way up to JEX5. I believe it touched it. Let me zoom in here. Let's see. Oh, it just came below it. Sometimes it'll go above it and then pop back through. But in this case over here on the NQ, it popped through it. Acted as a speed bump and then took right off. So sometimes it acts as a wall, or like on the ES, and sometimes it acts like a speed bump. But in both cases, it is a high volume area, so you're going to have very, very high amounts of volume because the market makers have to hedge their options positions because they're trying to be delta neutral. That means they're not trying to profit or lose money off their positions. They're trying to make money off the spreads. So they're always trying to stay delta neutral. Let me turn these lines back on, the gamma lines. And as you can see, you can have it clean like this over here, or you can have it over here like this. And you can also change the colors of all these lines if you like, and you can get rid of the call resistance line if you like. 1 day max and 1 day minimum, they hardly ever reach those areas. In this case, it did hit we had a huge news event last night, came down to the 1 day minimum overnight, and then took off all through the day. Over here on the ES, well, like I said, what I like to do is use the JEX5 levels as a magnet. So if the JEX level is way up here, JEX5 is way up here, I have a pretty good idea that price is heading in that direction. Now, these are supposed to update at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, but they usually don't. So that's the one thing I don't like about it. It's not very consistent on when it updates these levels because I trade the Asian session, overnight session, which starts at 5 p.m., and I don't have my levels to trade off of. I don't really use them that much, but I do use them overnight. So I use my JEX5 levels. If I do have one like this one right here, I have my JEX5 levels. What I will do is place a buy order for overnight right here with a stop, and I take profit of one interval, which is 40 points on the Nasdaq. So overall, would I recommend MenthorQ for your trading? I would have to say absolutely yes, just for these levels. It gives you a better insight of what's going on in the options market, which in turn influences the indexes and the stock market. And if you're going to trade individual stocks like the Mag 7, this is indispensable. You can see exactly what's going on in the options market without going into the options market. You can just look at these levels and see what's going on, where the high levels are. And if another thing you can see is how congested this area is right here. That's going to have a lot of activity right in there, a lot of resistance, because that's where all the open interest is in the options market. And the market makers are going to hedge their positions because they have to, which in turn means there's going to be a price movement. So I use MenthorQ, and I could definitely highly recommend it. So if you want to give it a try, the discount link is in the description, and then you can give it a try for a month or so and see if you like it.